Well, hello friends, it's Admiral Revan here, and today we're playing Star Wars The Old Republic. And Star Wars The Old Republic has been around for so many years. It's been a while since we actually caught up with it and played the game and everything. There has been a lot of changes in this game that you'll get to notice, and we'll start off with the character creation as you get in. So pretty much when you get in the character creation screen, will see something like this for the first time in version 7 and onwards in the game franchise. Now this means that you can actually get your character, start off with a level boost and actually get to level 70 and start from the story from there, or start off with the character of your choosing at right at the beginning of level 1 and work your way through. So let's just go through the character screen at level 1 and run you through it. So the character screen, as you can see here, is basically it's been changed into two sides, both the Republic and also the Sith Empire. So I'll show you between both sides so what you're looking for. Okay, so with the Sith Empire side I've chosen here, basically you can choose whichever class you want, and you can see the gender and also what kind of abilities and specs that you can go through. Now, as you can see here, as an Imperial agent, you can actually choose between Mercenary, Power Tech, or the Republic side with the Commando, or the Republic side of Vanguard, and also Scoundrel, Gunslinger, and the top right here is all the Imperial stuff, like the Imperial Sniper and Operative. Now, the general Imperial agent always had Sniper and Operative. However, in this game now, you have dual specking. So as a soldier or a mercenary, like a bounty hunter in a sense, you'll be able to choose one spec to begin with, and then you can have a second spec to be either the Republic stuff or one like with the Imperial agent, for example, to mix things up. Or you have one for DPS and the other one for power tech, which is like tanking or something like that. But anyway, that is just like a bit of an opportunity for you to do something a little bit different. Now, if you want to play a Force user, like for example, like a Sith Inquisitor here. Now, Sith Inquisitors by default will have either the Assassin or the Sorcerer, and in this time round you can mix it up between having the Jedi Counselor abilities like the Sage or the Shadow, or if you want to mix it up a little bit and have like Jedi Knight abilities, like for example in the Sith Warrior side have the Marauder or Sentinel, and the Jedi Knight for the tanking side is either the Guardian or the Sith Warrior is a Juggernaut. So you can have a bit of a mixture of both. Same thing with the Sith Warrior, and as you can notice that despite of everything here, you have the opportunity to change your gender as well, and you work your way through it. So let's just say, for example, I'm just going to go through some unique abilities. Now let's just go back into the character screen here, and you can see that you can go through different races of your choice and start working your way through it. Now basically, let's just say, for example, hypothetically speaking, that you had all these character portraits unlocked for different races, like so for example Chiss, Nautolan, the Togruta, the Catharians, obviously the humans, cyborgs. This is a different race altogether as a Ragnar, I think. Also, this is the Sith. Now you can actually choose your head type, different body types, uniques, whatever makes you happy. And honestly, you can have scars and whatever on there and go with the flow. Now let's just say, for example, you do want to play the Sith side first and you want to go to the Galactic Republic. Now Galactic Republic, same idea, same deal. As you can see here, this is like the trooper by default, and it's basically giving you a bit of a preview of what the trooper looks like and tells you a bit of the background history about him. And then at the moment it's using Scoundrel, which is actually, funnily enough, is actually the smuggler abilities. Now, if you want to change that up a little bit, for the troopers you go like Commando, which is range DPS, or tanking is the good old Vanguard. Both of them are pretty good. But as you can see here is that you can choose the name of the trooper as you go to the next screen, and so on and so forth. Now let's just say that you're not really into that sort of thing and you want to go to force using. You can actually start choosing whatever you like, it feels best. And let's just say you want to be a Jedi Knight, and then you can work your way on a second spec of your choice. So pretty much you just go ahead and customize your race and everything, and pick a random name of your choice, like so. Alternate characters like that, for example, can be used, and you actually can go ahead and with the character creation. It's actually pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you definitely know what you're looking for in terms of the character creation, and pretty much you just like, yep, no worries, okay. You can customize the skin color as you see fit, and then you go like, oh yeah, there's no worries. I don't like the hairstyle, so you change it up to whatever suits your fancy. Some of these hairstyles are pretty wicked, I have to say. The good thing is that you can actually rotate the character to help look around about it. And let's just say I'm gonna go with that. There's a bit of cosmetics involved here. So you can actually have something pretty nice, unique, or have something dull and boring. I have to admit, I mean, like some of the stuff that I've seen here is like they've really changed the game up a bit since the last time I played it. But here you go, like this is like, pretty cool. Let's just say the hair color, you want to change it up. They actually got a good customization of everything, and let's just say that you're very happy with this, and you go ahead and start playing it. But if your name is taken, don't stress. I mean, like, these things do happen, but we'll see how we go with this, so bear with us, folks. Okay, so pretty much you managed to get your character created, and this is where the fun part begins. Alright, so as you can see here, the game is getting fired up. And you go through the dialogue, and that's awesome. You can't go wrong with the dialogue. Okay, so I have skipped the dialogue a fair bit for you because we want to fast forward this video a little bit as quick as possible. So you got your Jedi Knight character being created, and you're happy with everything that's been going on, and you go like, oh wow, this is completely different what you're used to. So pretty much when you get into the game for the first time, you'll start to see like a bit of an intro cinematic about your character, and you have this lovely scroll text which hasn't changed, and it's pretty nice. The loading screens are actually pretty nice as well too. So when you start seeing like a bit of a glowing bar over here, it says press spacebar to continue. Go ahead and do that, and you'll start getting through this. Now as you can see here, that you start to see a bit of the characters and the people involved here, and it actually looks pretty nice. The intro is still the same. It's actually pretty cool. They've actually done the graphics a lot better since the last time. and it looks actually pretty unique. Now, as you can see here, that this is my character that I created, which looks very fancy, and it looks very nice. But here you go, you got some text going on here. You can choose to hide it for now, so that you can start listening to what's been involved here. So you got a bit of a dialogue speech here, and that's just still the same from, like, you know, Mass Effect, as well as good old KOTOR, and when it first started this game 10 years ago. So pretty much, you know, just go ahead and just choose your choices, and each of these dialogues do change, you know, they do vary. So basically some of these dialogues do vary from time to time for how you consult, or intimidate, or to negotiate, or even just how you respond, generally speaking, and each of these dialogue choices do matter. So this is actually pretty nice. Now, as you can see here, this is actually getting to know with your master or your trainer for the first time when you arrive at Typhon, and you start, you know, enjoying a bit of the storyline. This is where BioWare has done a fantastic job of putting this game together with the storyline based. Now, I have to admit that when I first played this game back in the alpha and beta test, I was very surprised about how good this game was, and I really enjoyed it since day one. Now, just remember that the basic steps of understanding that if you don't like a certain choice, like you don't want to continue the conversation, you can press escape at any time, and just like so, and this actually gets you out of the game. The dialogue of the actual what you're starting off with, and you can actually go back to the conversation and talk about it. So what I've just done is that, as you can see, that this is the general layout of the actual game itself. So let me just start talking about the basics about the general layout, what's involved here, and how you're going to be dealing with it. Okay, so when you first play Star Wars: The Old Republic, it is a bit, you know, like like, oh wow, it's like I got a lot of stuff here, and what's what, you know, and you want to understand what you're dealing with. So let's just start off with the basics. Okay, so this part here is actually where the dialogue of the in-game chat is going on at the moment, and you can see like the bit of a history of the conversation that you're having there. You can actually right-click in here and with your mouse and create a new tab, and you can put the word convo like so. And then you can actually right click on this tab, and you can change the font size if you wish, or create a custom channel or chat settings, and you can actually disable certain things that you don't want to see be put in that window, and you're going to put, say, conversation only. Click apply, click OK, and then basically if you leave it on that convo window, you won't be seeing what's happening in game chat or like guild chat or anything like that as well too. All right, so that's not too bad. Okay, so this is pretty much the basic intro of what it looks like when you first get in. Now let's just say this HUD bar that you're seeing here, there's a lot of stuff. Like, for example, you got the navigation, and also the hotbar of shortcuts and icons and stuff like that. Well, it's all well and good. I mean, by default, you'll notice that you can actually change it up to the customized layouts that BioWare has provided, and it all looks, you know, pretty good for what you want to use it for, or you go back to default and then leave it like that. Now, let's just say hypothetically that I want to go through something to tweak up my overall game settings. So press the escape key. Press the escape key and go to preferences. As you can see here, when you first dealing with the preferences of the game itself, the game preferences are very important for you to understand what you're dealing with in the game as well. So, for example, by default, it doesn't have background audio enabled usually when you first reinstalled SWTOR or download it for the first time. Make sure you have that enabled because it's actually very nice. You can have the opportunity to adjust the volumes of the music and all the other sound effects as well. If you're happy with everything you got there, go ahead and check your controls. Now controls as such, you know, you can tweak it for your auto looting when you right click on something, or actually going through, you know, certain like enable focus targets and things like that. Go through the settings carefully. I'm going to, you know, re-customize it the way you want it. I usually leave it by default because it helps me understand the basics of the game and what you're dealing with, and at least you don't have to worry too much anyhow. Fly text is basically all the text that's happening in the game, pretty much that you see that spawns over your character, or you know, the enemy NPCs, and so on and so forth, which is pretty nice to know. Combat logging, the good thing is about combat logging is that you can actually enable logging to a file if you wish to see what you have been doing with abilities and stuff like that, or showing victory messages in chat, and so on and so forth. Now, chat in general, this is where it comes to play differently. Let's just say timestamp. Now, for example, timestamp, it will show the chat timestamps, and actually will show the time of it, you know, when people are chatting. This is really, you know, like up to you if you want to change and tweak it. Now you can filter profanity, you can have profanity on, so they can see what they're really saying. To be honest, some of the stuff they say in the game makes you laugh and cry. But if you want to protect your kids from, you know, learning bad words, for example, at least you can turn the filter on anyway. User interface, I will have to admit that the user interface is a bit of a catch-22. So the user interface is a lot of things here. You can show tutorial alerts. There will be a tutorial alert that will pop every now and then, and it will give you a bit of an idea of the whole retrospect of the gameplay and what you need to know or learn more about the game and stuff like that as well. They'll also, you can show a warning of the display item modification. So basically, if you're tweaking up your equipment, it will prompt you, warn you as such. You can have that on if you wish. But also you can auto skip you know, character creation and introduction movies as well too. So basically, that introduction movie that I showed you earlier, you have the opportunity to pretty much skip it, which is pretty handy to know. Now, if you're wondering about like show conversation online again, basically when you're having like a conversation with one of the NPCs, you will have a bit of a light side, dark side choice that will come up, and pretty much you'll see a bit of a reaction there of what the glowing effect is, whether it's blue or, you know, red, for light side, dark side choices. And you can click apply as you change it. There's some like other math stuff as well that you can probably have a look and tweak for yourself. There's also a very nifty tool for companion comparative tooltips. You know, you can use that to actually check the companion's gear that you get along the way, and it's actually pretty nice. Cooldown text. Now, cooldown text is actually very handy. So what does it look like? Well, cooldown text, in all seriousness though, is that's basically me. Just click on that. Well, it's actually using my abilities. And when I'm jumping on stuff like that, and it actually shows the cooldown of the abilities I use. So I'll demonstrate a quick example of that real quick for you right now. So this is one of my characters that I had been leveling up for quite some time, but here you go. Like if you're wondering about like cooldowns and what it looks like, so click on this for example, notice that there's a cooldown timer of 2 minutes, and there's the abilities very casted, and it looks very nice. Same thing like using different abilities and things like that, and it also looks pretty cool, doesn't it? But that's what you know it looks like, generally speaking. Okay, so come back to my leveling character as I run through with this video. Now let's just say hypothetically you want to get rid of the name appearance. Now, name appearance is a little bit tricky here, but I will get that down to that point in a second here. So when you're in the game, you got the name and the user interface done correctly, the graphics, customize the graphics to whatever makes you happy. Starfighter is actually pretty cool. It's pretty straightforward. Social. Now social is actually very nice. You can actually have the ability to allow people to come and join your personal faces and stuff like that. I highly recommend it, because like, let's just say for example, if you want someone to come in the group and help you out for completing a quest, definitely enable that so that people can come and join your quest. Even if they're not the same class, or they are the same class, at least they can come and join in. You can have the option to actually ignore guild invites as well, or group invites and other things as well for your own perspective. When it comes to in-game mail, now I have to say there's a lot. I mean, like, of in-game mail that you will receive in this game. As you know, because here I got like 61 in-game mail right now, and it tells you a lot, doesn't it? So when you check your in-game mail, you see a lot of spam or legit mail items of rewards and things like that you can get, like mounts, pets and outfits and things like that, or tokens, titles, things like that, or achievements. It's all there, like, it's just right there, black and white. You can't go wrong. You can choose to hide it or not. Nameplates, this is what I want to talk about. The nameplates. Nameplates in general, basically, as you can see here, the nameplates is pretty much what you got displayed right now. Now, for example, by default, you would see something like that, like show the class, and everything about you. So pretty much, if you don't want to show the class symbol, just get rid of the class symbol for that. Or you don't want a guild name shown, you click on that as well too, and a few other things. Furthermore, I mean, like, you can change the combat style colors as well if you wish. That's a bit of a user preference, but I leave it by default. If you're colorblind, I mean, like, there's a colorblind option as well too, which is very handy to have. Alright, so that is not too bad. But let's just say that surname is your legacy. Now, you're wondering what the legacy is? Legacy is pretty straightforward. It's basically a legacy of your actual, character, family, or whatever you want to call it, family tree, and you want to, change it up. So when you press C for Charlie on the keyboard, for example, you get this character screen, and as you can see that the character screen interface has changed a little bit. Definitely a bit of an insight here for you as well, so definitely take your time with it when you're putting this together. When you go to see this select title, this icon here, click on that. As you can see, like, this is the character name. You can character flag, you can actually change it if you wish. Legacy title, I mean, like, you can actually choose whatever title that you wish from the achievements that you accumulated over time. But if you don't want any of that to be shown whatsoever, see where it says display legacy surname. If you click on that to take it off, press escape. Notice that it only shows the character name. That is not too hard to do. That's pretty much in the gist of it. So let's just quickly go through the dialogue choices now. Oh wait, yeah. See where it says, like, welcome to the Alpha Designer? Well, if you press C, you can see, like, there's a whole heap of things there. It shows you armor, the equipment that you got on, the weapons, and also your earpiece, implants, your relics, and tactical stuff. But it's all very nice. In fact, you can choose to show the head or not show the head as well. The outfitter is basically, you can customize as many outfits as you wish, and it's all very nice and fun and dandy. As you can see here under the combat style, this is where, like, you can see all the different skills and things like that as well too. And that's actually pretty nice. You can customize the loadouts, you can set them by name, like, this is my Guardian, this is my Sentinel, or whatever the specs you want. and actually have a nice customized appearance of your characters, outfit as well if you wish, and so on and so forth. And this tab here is for your companions, where you can expand on your companions, customize their gear and everything as well too. As you can see here, there's mission items. You can put mission items in here that automatically come across, and also currency, and this will have like tokens, in-game credits, and a few other things as well. So that's nice to have. And also you can get cartel coins. Did you know that subscribers get free cartel coins? Well, they do. It's a very nice reward as well. It does take time to build it up, but it's well worth it. Alright, so that's actually the gist of it, of a quick introduction of the game so far. But let's quickly get through that. If you click the tutorial and then click the green tick, you'll actually see this screen. You can definitely go ahead and read that if you wish. You can enable the show tutorial alerts for the first time, or don't worry about it and check it out later. Alright, let's go ahead and go through this text. If you are not wanting to wait for, like the whole video bit by bit, you can actually use the spacebar to skip it. And as you notice that I did fast forward a fair bit. Then it can continue on, and it's actually pretty quick. And it's kind of funny, seeing the scenes really accelerate so quickly, but it's actually pretty good. But the face reactions and everything is actually very nice as well too. Now, one thing I can touch base with you is later in the next video is that I will discuss about in regarding to training the Force, and as well as dual specking and layouts and stuff like that. So that is the basic intro of what I can tell you about Star Wars: The Old Republic. If you definitely would love it. Now I will talk more about the family legacy. We'll cover in that in the next video, so definitely stay tuned, and we'll talk about more of this in a second in the next tutorial video.